Welcome, everyone, to Rebirth, a D&D Tale, Session 5. Our band of adventurers have recently collected on the money that they were owed from Ormond Ironhand, the gnomish tinkerer slash arcanist who had sent them on a task to gather more information about a crystalline structure at the top of the hill south of Sea Meat Canal, the throughway from the oceans to the east to the oceans to the west. And upon arriving, the party discovered that it housed something. Something with a voice, with sentience, with a desire of its own. And decided that even if they could lift any of these very heavy crystalline stones, that doing so might set free this creature trapped by the Wild Mother. And so, with the information in hand, they went back to Sea Meat Canal to meet with Ormond, and Ormond gave them each their 5 gold for the information, but was disappointed that he couldn't get any samples. That perhaps he might have to try something else. But, learning all this information, the party decided that they really needed to know more about the ancient history of the world. And there's one library that each of them knew would be a giant treasure trove of facts and information and stories at Fallfire Plains. But the other option was to go to someone that Kinwin was familiar with, Kinwin and River, the guild master of the druid clan that resides in the Surefall Glades, overseeing the reconstruction of the forest in that realm, and also proprietor of the largest library in all of Argyll, at least to anybody else's knowledge, anyway. And that's where we're picking up, where Lagon and Darius have successfully been able to meet up with the Anne Bonny and have booked passage with the Anne Bonny to make their way towards Argyll, since the Anne Bonny was making its way in that direction anyway, on a new sort of transport escort mission. And so the party is able to meet back together once more, and unless there's more to be done, can board the ship and set sail.
And there's no issues for Clip and Clop?
Clip and Clop would be stored in the cargo hold. They don't necessarily have animal accommodations, but they do tell you that you're meant to look after your own animals.
I mean, that is fine. I just want to make sure they're not getting left behind.
Proficiency in an herbalism kit, but I don't have one. I'd like to buy one.
Oh, okay, okay. Herbalism kits. Herbalism. Let me look up the price on that.
How long is the voyage to Argyll?
Somewhere around 2 weeks.
Okay, so we would need to get some more rations as well for for Clip and Clop.
And it would be 5 gold pieces to get a full herbalism kit.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Alright, perfect.
Has anyone been keeping up with the rations for our mules?
I think we were all doing individual.
But was anybody keeping track of Clip and Clop's rations, though?
I was, but I wasn't here last week, so I don't know how much they had.
Oh,
used.
it would only been an additional 3 days, right? Was it 3 days? I'm calling it 3 days.
So that would leave them with 5 days. We need to get an additional 7 days. Well, not just 7.
9.
9.
9 days of rations for Clip and Clop.
Yeah, how much would that be? Is it just like the standard cost of a ration for them two each?
Yeah, I was gonna do the same as individuals.
That's like 4 silver for the both of them per ration, per daily ration.
Clip and Clop have 8 rations in the back.
Well, they have their own food stored on them, but they don't. You would still need more food for them to go on this trip. So that's where you're at. And I know that the party is running quite low on money.
So it needs to be 3. Yeah, we'd need 3 gold and 6 silver to pay for the rations for both of them for 9 more rations.
I can pitch in for that.
Same here.
Alright. I'll add 1 gold and 6 silver for that.
Okay.
I will just rules layer real quick. It's 5 copper per day for animal feed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even cheaper.
Okay.
Just like to point out that I have a +4 in survival, so when we're in areas that I can hunt wild game, I could add to our ration.
Yep, that's always an option.
Donkey's
So you said it was 4,
okay,
for 1 day of animals feed, it's 4 copper?
5 copper. So it'd be 1 silver per day, basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've
to cover
got
them
8
both.
silver.
I
gets
can
all
give.
but 1 day.
Yeah, I can give 2. I have.
To get 10 days total for both of them.
Yeah,
Be
I
10
can.
silver, 1 gold.
Okay.
If they're on the gold.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all it would cost for the animal feed then.
All right.
Just so I can actually contribute to their care.
Alright.
So we have 15 days of animal feed basically for them.
Yep. You're now at 15 days for animal feed.
Alright. Alright.
Is there any food provided on the ship, or do we need to account for our own rations as well?
Captain Badger would let Lagon know that they weren't expecting you all to go with them, so you would have to provide your own.
Yes, we do need to get more rations for ourselves as well.
Because they have enough rations to feed themselves, but they don't have enough rations for all of you.
Yeah.
Well, I put the 8 rations I had in Clip and Clop's bag.
I've got 7 on me.
I have 8 on me.
Okay. So that would get you through 8 days worth of the travel, and then be 5 more after that.
Yeah, I'll pick up 4 additional rations for Shay, but she can only carry 7.
I'll pick up 5 extra.
Lagan can carry anything that you personally can't for yourself, Shay.
Yeah, you can keep it on your sheet, but Lagan's carrying that for you. So
yeah,
this way you're keeping track of your your own food kind of thing.
So
either me or Kinwin could take Goodberry.
You can always prepare a Goodberry and always save on your rations.
Yeah, could do that too.
Not that it's very satisfying as far as flavor, but you get a full day's worth by just eating one.
I have already translated the names of the spells I had ready the last game into Welsh for a verbal component.
Ooh, how fun.
Nice.
Very fun. Yeah, because looking at the map, it's about at least 1,000 miles to get from there, and a lot of the travel is probably going to get time skipped anyway. So I'm not going to make you suffer through all of that because that'd be dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's about 1,000 miles, so it is a long journey, and these boats are fairly fast for being, seafaring boats, but it's a long one. So
I think in that case, I'm just gonna get 3 extra rations for Vanya.
Okay. Was there anything else that you guys were doing before setting sail?
I'm going to spend 2 gold to get some more rations to make sure I have enough to make the journey.
Okay. Cool beans. Anyone else?
Lagan can add 5 rations that he's carrying for Shay.
Okay. That makes a...
For weight capacity reasons, yep.
Okay, so Lagan would have a total of 19 rations?
Yep. In his possession, yep.
Sorry, Lagan, you're practically a food truck.
I'll add that to the other, what Lagan's carrying.
Suppose there's any time to hunt, so I'm ready.
Yeah, they're looking to leave before nightfall, so that they can actually start heading in the right direction, and get out on the ocean, and start on the journey. But and there's not really a whole lot of wilds to hunt in, much less anything more than just seafowl that you'll find as animals that are, because there's plenty of seabirds. There's seagulls and everything that just kind of fly all over the place here.
Yeah, as it starts to get dark, Shay still has her little flashlight ring from Ruin.
Mm-hmm. And he's gotten himself prepared and everything too, so that he's good and ready for the travel too. Not that he needs any food.
Lagan would always enamored with it.
Lagan would also make sure that Shay always has access to his bedroll when it's time for her to
bunk
cocoon.
Up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
she still does that and appreciates it.
And anywhere that the ship would need help, Lagon would be on ship. Otherwise, helping out.
Yep. So, and Captain Badger does make that a point that if you're going to be on the ship, you're going to help in some way. So, you pull your own weight, kind of a deal. So,
Faye is concerned with her noodly arms, but she does not complain.
Well, I set and sail then.
Yes.
And so Captain Badger begins the calls for all of the various hands on board to man their stations and to pull the sails and get on the wind so that they have so that you all have the best and fastest trip. And all of you, upon boarding the ship, you do notice that there is some elements of the arcane that are kind of inscribed into the ship's hull and into the wood, kind of and some various gems that don't seem to have, that aren't particularly valuable, but they do kind of glow in a sort of kind of soft green that as you look at them, and so you suspect that part of the reason that this ship gets around as much as it does is because it is magically propelled in some way, that it has the wind to guide it, but also magical means that aid in some of that. And that's based on some of the assumptions that you know about the ship itself and how long this journey usually would take. Just a windfaring vessel. That a windfaring vessel by itself would probably take even longer to travel this ocean. And while going around the reefs is dangerous, they're large enough to avoid going in this direction from the Seameat Canal towards the country of Argyle. And when you board the ship, you see that the cargo holds are just chock full of crates and all sorts of things. So this vessel is loaded to bear with everything it needs to get across to the country, and even has some goods that it might be trading in that regard too. And so the journey sets off before nightfall, going in that direction, and for the most part the journey is uneventful. You pass from the Seameat Canal south through the reef and going by way of Iron Forge in the south, the safest route through the rockiest portions of the archipelago. And in that time, there is a storm that brews, but nothing that the sailmaster Henry Morgan isn't able to navigate through. That he's able to kind of read the storms as they're coming in, and guide the boat through the thick of it, and you notice that he's also seems to be praying to the Wild Mother in that time, in the times that happens. This other Goliath of a man with a bit of a scraggly kind of beard with a single kind of ornate bead kind of tying it together at the end. His cloaks kind of bundled up to be warm in this very chilly atmosphere, because it is very cold as you travel. Being it's spring, the sea itself hasn't warmed up to its fullest warmth as of yet, so the wind is still very, very kind of bitter chilly in some cases, especially as it rains. The lot of you wanting to, of course, keep dry, because that's how you stay warm, but it is not the easiest of times on a small vessel like this.
Could I use shape water to help push water away from us?
You can certainly do that if as things start to kind of build up a little bit in the bilge of the ship, where a lot of the water kind of settles into the bottom, and is, while the crates are kind of hovering so that the goods that they're keeping don't get ruined by water, it still threatens to get pretty high. So Kinwin, that definitely is very useful to Captain Badger, as she shoveling water out of the bottoms of the ship is never an easy task, but with your shape water cantrip, you definitely make it easier on her crew.
So yeah, I'll go down there, wave my staff in front of it, and say, "Dour Shat," and then start removing water from the ship.
Fantastic.
When Master Morgan is working through the storms, Lagan will be there by his side, paying close attention to what it is that he is doing to navigate through these storms.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of what you've learned is a kind of a sort of personal copy of what he practices, correct?
Yes.
So he's definitely very much a seafaring man with a he loves thunderstorms.
Oh yes.
He just loves them. Even though they kind of threaten to topple the ship, it just gets his adrenaline pumping, and he even though he's looking out for the safety of the whole ship, he can't help but feel a little excited when some storm clouds start rolling in.
Lagan borrows a bit of Master Morgan's enthusiasm and excitement from the storms as well. He delights in them.
Mm-hmm.
As dangerous as they can be, they are still a force of nature and something to be reckoned with, but they are still exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Jay is complete opposite, hates every second of it, and is very afraid of getting blown away.
Vanya would just be helping wherever she could. I mean, Zephyr, stay with Shay out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine the best Shay is at is like just passing out freaking food or stuff. Whatever task she can do that does not require strength, she will attempt it.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely for Shay, anything on ship would be coiling rope, because anything else is going to be a strength requirement.
So we are on rope duty then, I suppose.
Which they are delighted that you are at least aiding and helping, maybe even passing out rations, that sort of thing, helping in the not that this particular ship has much in the way of a galley, but definitely opening up, food crates and giving people their lunches.
Here, I bring snacks.
Other than that, at most, the only thing, and there's already somebody there for the ship, would be whoever's in the crow's nest keeping an eye out. Would be the only other thing Shay would probably be capable of.
Which is always something that can be helpful,
River can only do stuff that's one-handed.
Yeah. But he can still cast spells as he sees fit. So, over the course of this time, what does River find himself kind of busying himself with?
I feel like he would be fishing by using Thorn Whip.
Okay, so casting a line out and doing some fishing.
Yeah,
supplementing
he's just kind
the
of
rations.
So he's just kind of, because he would help, but he only has his own one arm. There's not too much he can do. So he could help with getting food for people.
Okay. Make me a single Thorn Whip attack. We'll just call this the whole time.
Oh no.
Oh
Let's
no.
not. Let's not.
What'd you get?
That one.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
I think I harpoon a whale and it drags me in.
That about sums it up. Yeah, because you haven't been very successful over the first couple of days. It's been very tough to find anything of any kind of edible value this close to the surface of the water. But you do snag something. And when you do, you start to reel it in. You realize, oh, this is bigger than I had anticipated. I have the one arm that I can use. And so you start begging, other people for help, and they start, helping you in reeling this thorn whip that you're using as a fishing rod in.
I don't know what I caught, but it's a big one.
And what you have caught is a reef shark.
Ooh. I've seen one now. Wow.
And but as soon as you start reeling it in, it starts thrashing about against the side of the ship because you don't have a rod. It's just this thorn whip that you have. It starts bashing against the side of the ship, not doing any real structural damage, but everybody kind of looks at it and is like, no, let that go.
Are you sure? It's quite big. It looks edible.
Let it go.
I let it go.
And as you do that, a creature that you've never seen before comes out of the blue of the water and snaps on this reef shark. Big, massive teeth, long tendril face, and it quickly swims back under the water.
Now, this creature I've seen, can I tell if it's a beast or not?
That's going to be a animal handling check.
Oh, shoot. That'll be an 18 plus 4, 22.
That's not a beast. Nope, that's bigger than a beast.
That was not
A reef shark might be large. This is more huge or gargantuan. You hear another. Sorry, what was that, Woden?
Perhaps we can make a friend by feeding it sharks. Seem to like it.
You hear the bash against the bottom of the boat.
if you're going to make friends, do so quickly.
Well, if it's not a beast, I can't speak with it.
You hear Captain Badger start shouting. You hear others start saying that there's a breach.
Lagan will grab Darius and head down to inspect the damage to the hull.
Water's starting to fill in, but it's not a terribly big leak. But if it's not taken care of, it will sink the ship.
Since this was one of his first duties and one of the things he had to teach Darius, they will grab a patch and rapidly start trying to patch this hole.
Okay. And
we'll help them by using shaped water to push the water back out.
This is coming in faster than shaped water will allow you to move.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have to fix the breach before you can actually move the water effectively.
Is it filling up dangerously fast? Like, and is it down where Clip and Clop are?
It's a couple of inches every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, how's that patching coming, Darius and Lagan?
So I'll roll for Darius. This is
all right. What am I rolling?
That's going to be. Let's see. I'm gonna make this just a. Between doing vampire and doing D&D, it's always so hard. It's always so hard to switch back and forth.
Yeah.
To help out, I can create or destroy water. I can destroy up to 10 gallons of water with a single cast.
Okay, and that's
water also allows me to freeze water. Would that be dependent on the speed it's coming in too?
A cantrip would not do enough to solve this issue immediately. It would take time.
Okay.
It's doable if you're not in an emergency, but you're kind of in an emergency situation right now. So
yeah, I feel like if possible, I would like to try and get Clip and Clop out of the bottom.
Then you can definitely move them. And Lagan, that is going to be. I'm just gonna call for athletics.
Okay.
Because Darius is actually proficient in this.
All right.
But he only gets a 10.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Darius isn't. He's helping, but he's.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's 21. Sorry.
21. Okay.
I'm
He's
looking at the wrong thing.
He's definitely helping, but he's not working nearly as fast as you are. You've already got boards all together. He's just nailing them in place. You're setting up ways to seal off this breach, and getting it filled, and you're able to stem the leak, but you now have somewhere around a foot of water in the bottom of the ship now.
Is this before or after create and destroy water?
This is before.
Okay.
I imagine Lagan will be going to the shipwright to find the pitch mixture to seal
Mm-hmm.
this as well after they've got the patch in place.
Yep. Yep. You're able to do that far more effectively than Darius is at the moment because he's maybe in a slight bit of panic.
Okay.
So
I will destroy up to 10 gallons of water from the bottom of the ship.
okay, 10 gallons of water is about a barrel worth, which puts a dent in it, but it doesn't get rid of all of it.
And I could start using my shape water to move some of that water outside of the ship.
Which would likely take you the rest of the day to empty out, but yeah.
I can carry a bucket.
Well, I can do a little now.
Yeah.
I would imagine after this, Lagan will be going to check on the bilge pumps as well.
Mm-hmm. And the pumps seem to be functioning. It doesn't look like they got hit, so they're definitely helping get some of this water out of the ship. And Captain Badger kind of announces to the rest of the ship that that it does mean that they're going to have to make a stop and actually do some full repairs.
How long is that going to take?
She says it's probably a day.
Okay.
With all hands.
Well,
how far did we make it?
You made it. You haven't made it to Ironforge as of yet because it's just still pretty early in the trip. So she does divert you to a somewhat deserted island that she knows about.
Well, before we get there, Lagan will use his 3 first-level spells to destroy water as well.
Okay.
To remove 30 gallons.
Which definitely puts an even bigger dent in. That's good.
River will use his other 2 spell slots as well.
Okay. So yeah, then with the combined efforts of the bilge pumps, the caster's able to destroy water, and that sort of thing, you're able to get the ship nearly cleared of all of the water that came in. So, but Captain Badger says, "I'm very glad that it didn't cause any damage to any of the cargo."
We were very fortunate.
Quite fortunate.
It wasn't a bigger hole.
Yes, and we'll be making a stop at one of our usual spots, Lagan. Are your friends? Are we cool?
They are fine. They are doing everything they can to help and to find a place to pitch in and help out.
No.
We will be fine.
No. I mean, are they cool? Are they copacetic? Are they going to snitch?
You may want to keep them below decks if you have to do anything like that. I'm uncertain of some of them. Well, to be honest, the majority of them at this point. You may need to keep them below decks.
All right. Are you able to convince them of such? I don't need.
I will make sure that they understand the necessity of remaining below decks during this.
Fine. I don't want to make the stop.
We don't have much option. the ship has to be repaired. The one that Lagan would point out, being the big metal man in Rune, is unlikely to say much, but if he is aware, will be making copious notes. And yeah, we don't need anything like evidence.
No. This was supposed to be kind of under the weather, under the books.
Yeah. Lagan will go around and to everyone except Darius, gather them down below decks in this quarters where they would be sleeping when we get close to this.
And you know that the island isn't too far, so there you're able to make it. And she does from the times that you've been here, you do know that there is a bit of a ship wench that does help in getting some of the ship kind of lifted in order to make repairs, to underside if should it ever be needed.
Right.
That there's machines and arcane means that she utilizes when she has to make a stop at this port, well, she calls it a port, but it's more of a hideout.
Yeah. So as we're getting closer, Lagan gets everyone together and says, I need y'all to remain here until Captain Badger or I come back and give you leave to return to the decks.
Is there a reason for that, amigo?
Captain Badger requires it.
You see Rune kind of just cock his head, almost as if his eyes are focusing again on you, Lagan.
Uh-huh.
Should we not assist?
Your assistance would be best to remain here in your cabins below deck until we are through here, or Captain Badger says you can return to the deck.
I won't be able to hunt in my cabin.
What was that?
I won't be able to hunt in my cabin.
There's no hunting on this island.
It is free of animals as well.
There are some on the far side of the island, but it would take you more than the day that we have to make that trip.
Understood.
Sounds fair enough.
Well, can I ask why? Why? I mean, seafaring is fun and all, but it's been kind of stressful, and if we're stopping in port, I sure would like to get on some solid ground, if just for a couple minutes.
Well, you won't have the swaying of the ship along the waves and the currents to lull you to sleep if that's your issue. You'll be fairly sturdy. They will...
Sorry, I'm just a little confused.
Yeah, we'd probably just be getting in the way if we don't stay down here.
if you don't know what you're doing to help, you're more of a hindrance than a help. It will go quicker, and we'll be back on our voyage sooner if I can keep y'all out of the way.
If Lagan thinks it's for the best, then it probably is.
Exactly. I don't see a
Okay.
problem with it. Besides, what are we going to do out there? Sounds like there's nothing there, and again, we getting in the way.
Oh, but it's a new place. I haven't been out this way.
Kitty tail.
It's fine though. I understand. I wouldn't want to be a bother.
Lagan, after hearing your comments, Lagan is going to return to Captain Badger. Darius may be staying with y'all, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's probably opting to take a load off.
It gives y'all a chance to rest and do whatever you need while you're here for this day.
I mean, Shay at some point would like to try and sneak up top to just have a peek because she's stupidly curious, but that's all.
We'll get to that in a second. So, Lagan, you went back
Yes.
to Captain Badger.
Yes.
Were you able to successfully convince them to not pray?
For the most part. I do have one or two compatriots that may try to ignore my convincings and leave.
I'm pretty sure that
Leave their quarters to at least catch a glimpse, if nothing more than catch a glimpse of where we are and what we're about. May need to keep a hand or two available in case. One in particular, the little one, and Lagan will describe Shakran to Captain Badger, and possibly Rune. They are extremely curious individuals, and they seem to have acquiesced some into remaining in the quarters and the need for it, but I think they may let their curiosities get the better of them.
Well, I'm sure Amaril could handle it and stay up in the crow's nest to keep an eye out.
Alright. And Lagan will go to the shipwright to see what he can do to help get everything back in order.
Yep. Shay, you said you wanted to kind of sneak out and maybe take a peek at where you are currently.
Yeah, it's a thought. If there's if it's like obvious he's not going to be able to do it, then she won't.
Well, no one seems to come to bother you all. You hear the hammering and the shouting of orders and the calling of different this and that's being called for and from inside the belly of the ship. You can almost feel a little bit the repairs that are being done on the exterior to really seal up this hole that was created as a result of this, whatever it was, kind of bumping up against the ship. And so far, no one's come to really come bother you. You don't see anyone kind of pacing the halls or anything of the the interior of the ship. You're all kind of in the bunk space where all of the hammocks are hung. So it's up to you whether you want to go take a peek outside or not.
Like, does it seem feasible to that it would be even possible, or are there too many people around?
Well, there's people all over the exterior, but you don't see anybody inside right now.
Like, she's curious, but she's not hell bent. So, like, she'd meander. Like,
Is there any way I'd see her trying to sneak out?
Well, it depends, because the room that you're in doesn't have any like portcullises or anything like that to be able to see outside. You're kind of in, like I said, the bunk space, and which is kind of like in the middle level of the ship, and you know that the cargo holds below you, where Clip and Clop are as well. You know that the upper deck is above you, and you hear all sorts of kind of going back and forth of different people over the top, because you do hear footsteps on the top deck, from the top deck. And so, but the crew isn't very large. If there's some people on the exterior and some people on the top deck, then you guess that everyone's outside. So if you wanted to take a peek outside, you can go to the nearest portcullis, wherever that is.
sure.
Are you doing
I
so
will do
sneakily?
that. Yeah. So, I asked too many questions, apparently.
Roll me a stealth.
All right. Natural one.
Oh god, the rolls.
It's a good day.
Vanya, you easily spot her trying to leave the room.
Shay.
I'm just going to check on Clip and Clap.
Can I insight?
Deception.
Yeah,
Shay.
I want to insight that
Checking
too.
on.
I know better.
Ooh, nat 20.
21.
14.
What did Vanya get?
21.
I got a 22, but it was a nat 20.
Natural 20, yep. Yeah. It's pretty obvious that curiosity's getting the better of this little cat.
Senorita, you don't have to lie to us.
Hey, come over here and sit back down. Before I send Zephyr after you.
I mean,
Yes,
I'm
I
curious.
just wanted to
too.
have a look. What's the big secret?
You don't need to know every secret, hun.
Fine, but I would actually like to go and check on Clip and Clop, to be fair.
I mean,
I'm
Not
going
lying.
with you then. So you don't get in fucking trouble.
I mean,
Second
I
I
think
knows
it's
you
perfectly
trying to
fine
leave.
just-
The lack of faith.
You're not tending to.
What's wrong with a little peek of what's upstairs? You know.
It's not what Gain wanted.
There's a little shine in her eye as soon as like River says. But
They're being kind enough. You know, give us passage. Won't do anything that'll piss them off. That's my only warning.
I mean, they won't know if we don't get caught.
It's like trying to herd cats. With one of them being a literal cat.
I was gonna say, where's Darius? I feel like Darius would be on board with this plan too.
He's just leaning back in his hammock, entertained by all of you.
Yeah, she definitely throws him. Come on, help me. Look, yeah, no, she's like, no, it's fine. I would like to check on the donkeys. I was just thinking about walking past a porthole along the way. That's all.
Okay, I know you better than that. Look out, see something interesting, then want to go up.
I mean, it depends. If it's like a monster, and that's why we need to stay in. I'll stay inside, no problem.
There's no harm in a little peek.
Suit yourself,
I swear
says
to God,
Darius
you
from
too.
across the room.
We'll go
Do
with
you know
as far
something?
as the...
Do you know something?
I will go with you as far as the mules, and that's it.
I mean, they're all the way in the bottom. That's kind of the whole way.
Yes. We're going down, not up.
Yeah.
If I catch you trying to wander off, then I will stop you. That is all I will say.
Are there portholes along the way down or only up?
From what you've seen, there are a couple on it going down a little bit, but they're mostly in other rooms on this deck. Because this is the last deck that really kind of resides above water.
But yeah, I mean, she will head down, or like as they start going out, she's like, just hop in, have a quick look, and then we'll keep going down. Yeah.
Just
Shay, you hear
grab her and...
you hear a couple of whistles that you know to be thieves' cant to say, "I dare you." A little bit of body language to indicate, "I dare you."
So yeah, Vanya, yeah.
Just go check on the mules. Come on. I'm sorry, can I help you?
Hello, Dagger.
Okay, so I'm taking that as a no. So we'll go down.
We got a shoulder cat.
BB. But yeah,
River is just gonna whisper to Shay. If you want to run up, I can distract her.
Go ahead and try. My passive perception is 15.
Yeah, we'll go down to the mules, and
the downstairs kind of hatch and ladder isn't very far away from the bunk room. It's kind of close to where you are. You see that there is a closed porthole on that side.
okay. Can I just shimmy over to that? Like, I'm not really trying to hide because Vanya's right there.
Of course.
But I will.
Vanya's keeping a close eye on Shay. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, I will open it if it is openable.
You
Is
kind
it
of
locked?
give it a little bit of tug. It is locked.
Oh, can I pick it?
Go ahead and make me a thieves' tools check with dexterity.
Dexterity.
Yep.
That dice has screwed me over. That dice has screwed me over. Let's try red. So it's gonna be it's Dex mod plus proficiency, correct?
Yep.
21.
Not bad. Not bad. It's pretty
Yeah,
easy.
Red die is the winner.
It's pretty easy to undo the lock. You don't even have to break the lock. Even it's just you kind of wiggle your tools inside, and it might be a little rusted or something because it just pops right open, and you can now freely, if you would like, to open the porthole.
You know. Does it squeak? Does it start to squeak as I open it?
Nope.
Okay, we're just gonna peek, like just a little peek out.
Make me a perception.
Watch. It's on the. Oh, okay. Eight.
It's nothing interesting on this side. There's
All right, she'll close it.
The mechanism that lifts the ship up out of the water. You see people kind of walking around, kind of outside, doing their duties to get this to get the ship repaired. But it seems like this side isn't the winner.
Yeah, like, I mean, is there, like, seeing people, does it just look like a normal town? Like, just there's a
you
thing
see
there? And...
crew members. You see just the crew members. You see just the winch that lifts the ship. You see crates, but aside from that, nothing super interesting on this side.
Yeah, all right. I'll close it up. I'll try and lock it again. If I can. Can I use thieves' tools to try and do that?
It's easy. You just lock it back. It's like a padlock.
Oh, okay. Okay. I will do that then. And then go down and see Click and Claw.
Alright. Seeing Clip and Clop. They seem they've kind of been cordoned off into a little bit of a corner. They're kind of in a resting position where they're kind of like laying down a little bit, where they're kind of in a, it almost seems like a little bit of a cage. It's kind of it's not locked or anything. It's just closed. They've kind of been stored in this little compartment so that they don't get loose, and that their leads have been kind of attached to the iron bars, and their packs have been kind of piled on top of it because it doesn't go the full height of the deck. So their packs are kind of piled up on top so that they know that all of this, whatever all of this is, that is your belongings, belongs together. And but they don't seem to hate it, but they don't seem to like it either.
Yeah, she's just musing. She's like, I'm sorry, guys. I know we stopped. We stopped in a place, and I thought it was a good idea too to get out and stretch our legs. But Lagan said it's best we stay down here. So it's his fault. It's not mine. I'm sorry, boys. You're the best boys. You poor guys. I know, like, some grass would be really nice, and, like, maybe a quick romp, like, roll around in the dirt. I'm sure y'all would love that.
They make some somewhat delighted donkey noises.
Yeah, I'll try and scratch them and find the spots.
Nice gallop through the through the sounds.
Your complaints have been heard loud and clear, Shay. I think that's enough trying to oversell your point.
It's just starting to feel a little claustrophobic. I don't understand why we wouldn't be able to, like, help.
I'm sure they've got their reasons, and one of those reasons is probably they don't want us in the way.
There's no reason we couldn't
big enough to get in the way.
Pick the donkeys out.
Yeah, well, I'd rather listen to, what the captain says.
Yeah.
Not much one for taking orders.
Neither am I, but, I don't know ships that well.
On the way back,
so
is there
I'm
any...
going to listen to someone who does.
Yeah. Is there any chance that there is, like, some spare clothes lying around between the donkeys and our room?
Whatever spare clothes you own, of course. And then there's probably some spare clothes in maybe one of these crates.
Well,
I'm not gonna go through. Not gonna go into actual crates. Just
Lying around, not so much, but
yeah.
you do know that when there is a sort of laundry day that people get around to, they usually hang their clothes to dry on the top deck.
Everything fun is on the top deck.
But nothing's stopping you from going to other people's belongings in the quarters room.
I mean that depends. How hawk-eyed is Vanya?
She's pretty hawk-eyed. It would take a pretty inconspicuous swapping of clothing in maybe the poop deck to in the restroom of the ship to maybe change clothes without her knowing. Not much gets past her.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try one more time to be kind of sneakily. Not doing any, like, I'm not specifically doing that, but just trying to see if I can sneak away.
Okay, roll me a stealth. And Vanya, you can use active perception. I know how hawk-eyed you're being about her right now.
Don't bother.
Yeah.
Natural one.
Wow! We've got some Derek
Don't
dice
even need to
going
roll.
on.
I give up.
Derek
Shay
dice.
gives up. She just finds a corner and
Pouts.
fucking waits. And pouts, yes.
Because as soon as you start to make any kind of inkling towards whatever it is that you were planning on, sneaking to do, as soon as you make a even just the slightest twitch in the wrong direction, Vanya's like,
At some point, she's just gonna see
Eyeballing
Zephyr.
you.
We're like,
just
she's
eyeballs you, and Zephyr comes over.
Zephyr's
Can
gonna
I
just
not
come over and
even
keep an
go
eye
to
on
the
you.
loo? I can't even go to the loo.
She knows you better than that. She's not gonna let you out of her sight too far.
River's gonna sit across from Shakron. You have that was it dragon chest?
I do, yes.
Would you like to play a game?
I was actually just going to ask you. That was what I was about to pull out and distract myself with. It smells like mildew and sadness in here.
Yeah, it's not all that bad.
You hear a little bit of shouting coming from outside, but it doesn't sound urgent.
I've been told to mind my business, and she'll pull out the dragon chest set.
Well,
I am
well,
incredibly curious as well.
we'll do this a one and done. So, just a d20 plus proficiency if you're proficient in the game.
I am not 12.
What's the query for?
Just a d20 and your proficiency.
Okay, so it'd be 14.
After a little bit of back and forth, it's a pretty close match, but Shikron, you win. And it has successfully distracted you for at least a little bit. Lagan, are you with them, or did you go out with Captain Badger?
Lagan left and went to help the shipwright make repairs to the ship.
Okay, so you're able to do some repairs to the ship. Captain Badger seems to wander off for a moment, You see her come back after a little while. Hey, quit eating that. Stop it.
Cat's gonna cat.
Cat's gonna cat. After a moment, she comes back. There's some the repairs are being done, made very quickly. Something on the winch kind of settles or breaks. Not sure which. She starts to shout, but after a little bit of repairs on it and the finishing up the repairs on the ship, it looks like everything is back in a decent order, and she's ready to get back on the water.
Okay.
And this takes roughly the whole day.
Right. Lagan will, after everything is done, return to the rest of his party below decks, and await Captain Badger to give them permission to return to the deck.
Actually, I would like you to make a perception check, Lagan.
Okay. Plus 5, 23.
There's somebody here. Somebody not member of the crew. You see them briefly kind of silhouetted in one of the dark kind of corners of this little space, because what you've essentially come into is a bit of a rock cave that upon that you would know that this is frequently also a meeting spot for some of the less than savory dealings that Captain Badger and Bonnie in general participates in. That potentially she's meeting someone. That's one of the things that you see as part of this repair venture is also another crate being loaded.
And you said they're just a silhouette?
Yes, the person's just a silhouette. They don't necessarily come into a clear view. They talk with Captain Badger for some of that time while you're helping with repairs. You look back and they're gone. The next time you look in that direction. And
seeing the suspiciousness and then the new crate being loaded on board, Lagan will make a note to quietly speak to Captain Badger, inquiring into what it is that they've just taken on.
So you go to her to the captain's quarters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I return to the bunks. Yeah, I will quietly make my way to Captain Badger's quarters.
Hello.
Hey. So, should I have any concerns about our new cargo?
Should have known. Should have known you'd have eyes like a hawk.
Yeah. You're the one that commented on them and pointed me in Master Morgan's direction to help with everything.
I suppose. It's just a bit of cargo. Just a bit of cargo that we're taking to Red Hawk Keep. That's all.
Just asking if I should have any concerns about it.
Well, I suppose that you just leave that to me.
I am leaving everything to you. And I do trust you. If I didn't, I'd have not had my companions wait below decks in the bunk.
I appreciate that. And, let's just see that it's sleeping for the moment.
How long do you expect it to remain so?
For the rest of the trip. I don't expect, things to get all, you know, um, it's the kinds of things that manors don't like. Aberrant in nature.
Man-o-wars don't like? Do I know anything more about the Man-o-wars and what it is they don't like? At this...
They tend to go... They tend to attack and feast on the living and then pilot the corpses.
Right. But Captain Badger made a point to say that the Man-o-wars don't like this thing. Whatever.
Roll me a nature check.
Oh, lovely. Let's see. Nature, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's an 18.
Okay. Based on what you've observed in the past, you're fairly certain that the Man-o-wars themselves are a little bit aberrant in nature.
Right.
But most aberrations don't like each other.
So it's another aberration.
Potentially?
Because I don't know of anything... I don't really know anything outright that the Man-o-wars just dislike outright, other than other aberrations.
They'll eat just about anything, but they kind of flock together themselves and don't like much in the way of other kind of aberrant creatures. And the kinds of things like animal combinations that you've seen in recent years, things like what people are calling griffins, flying eagle tigers, owl bears.
Okay, so whatever is in the crate is along the lines of like an owl bear or a griffin. That's my understanding.
Or any kind of combination creature or something.
Any kind of chimera type creature that's more than one creature.
Yeah, you get that sense.
Whatever it is asleep. We don't want to wake it up. It could potentially be disastrous. Hell, it would probably even eat the mules if it were to wake up. So, before Lagan leaves to return to the bunk rooms, should we potentially keep somebody in the hold to watch our mules in case this thing is to wake up, Captain?
I don't think it's the mules you'll have to worry about. So, it's just better left alone.
I will do my best, and I will again do my best to make sure my companions do not bother our new cargo, or even notice our cargo.
Yes, that particular crate is going to a rather lucrative buyer, who definitely likes pit fighting animals and other such things.
Then it would be best to make sure my companions do not find out, because some of them would be, what's the word for it? Well, upset just doesn't quite cover it. now, does it?
No.
Um,
and
I'm finding out that
and I'm gonna be meeting my my buyer personally, so alone.
I respect that, and well, when we get to our destination, we'll go our separate ways.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's been a long day. I need to catch some rack time.
Yes, get some rest. Well, we're going to for the night crew. We're gonna get back to sailing, and be back to full speed in the morning.
Right. I do appreciate everything, and thank you for accommodating me and my companions. And at that, Lagan is going to leave and return to the bunk room with the rest of his party, and actually try to get some sleep.
Mm-hmm. In which case, Shay has recently just beat River at a game of dragon chess.
Luckily, we didn't hit anything.
It was a good game, though. I mean, I just enjoy playing just for playing.
So,
There's
when
a
Lagan
lot
returns,
of gambling where I lived for the past few years.
when Lagan returns, is he aware of who won the game?
Possibly not immediately, but based on the conversation so far, it kind of seems like Shay might have won. Or maybe just enjoyed playing. Who knows?
Regardless, whether Lagan knows or not, you up for another game?
I guess if you don't mind.
No, go ahead. He doesn't get up. He just scoots back away because he wants to observe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, given heights and everything, Lagan will probably just sit on the floor to be of the same height as Shay to reach the
Reach the chess
board.
table. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. One and done. Roll d20, and if you're proficient in the game, add proficiency.
I don't even know what that would be, but I'm not. And I'm fairly certain an 8's not gonna do it.
21.
She wipes the board. She wipes out all of Lagan's pieces before even losing one of her own.
Damn.
I can't tell if she's just really good or you're really bad.
It's probably a little of both, to be honest.
Captain Badger did say I was the worst she had ever seen to play the game. I don't seem to have the head for it.
It's okay. We can't all be good at everything.
But I wouldn't mind continuing to play and learn from you, Shay.
I'd be happy to teach you. Although maybe next time we can play up in the fresh air.
And as you're saying that, you could feel that the boat is leveling back out where the winch is leveling it back into the water, and that the ship starts to move in a backwards direction.
That is very likely, and I'm sure if there's a little bit of downtime, Captain Badger wouldn't mind a game or two. She's quite proficient with the game.
Okay. I wouldn't mind a good game.
Considering you can beat just about everyone in our little group here.
I mean, I just have experience with the game, that's all.
Yeah.
And with that, Anne Bonny sits back on on the trail to get to the Red Hawk Keep. And I think that's where we're going to take a quick break, unless there's something else.
No, Lagan's gonna climb into his hammock and go to sleep afterwards.
All right.
Yeah, the only thing Vanya's going to do is, as usual, just play a little light music. Oh.
Yeah, Shay is gonna get in her cocoon, but then she's gonna try some things while she's in the cocoon
Ooh, okay.
before she goes to sleep.
Yes, let's go ahead and resolve that. What are you doing?
Practicing.
What you practicing?
Other shapes.
Ah, okay. Just roll me a charisma.
It's straight charisma.
Yep.
17?
You kind of, in your cocoon, you're kind of mushing your face a little bit. And then you realize that once you've mushed it, it stays. When you think hard enough about it. And then you let your hands go. You kind of look at your hands a little bit as you're kind of tucked into your cocoon. You make your fingernails grow a little longer. You kind of look at your skin and turn it from that usual kind of light pallor that you have to that kind of albino-ish white for a moment, and then it darkens to a deep ebony. And then you quickly switch it back.
Yeah. Just practice. Just practicing.
But combining these things, maybe a little more practice.
Good to know.
And that's where we're going to take the break. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We're going to be back with more Rebirth D&D tale here very shortly. And see what the rest of the voyage has to offer our little band of adventurers. So we'll be back soon. Welcome back, everyone, to Rebirth, a D&D tale. Our party of adventurers have collected together on the Anne Bonny to set sail for the country of Argyll, a feudalist nation where a few members of our party have originated from. The sail so far has been mostly uneventful. The catching on a thorn whip of a reef shark ended up getting the attention of a much larger water beast that who knows what kinds of origins it might have, but it's definitely put a dent in the ship, as they had to make an emergency stop on an uncharted island. An uncharted island that Lagan is familiar with, and has, from the instructions of his captain, informed the crew that, or the party, that they should probably steer clear of going out of the ship until the repairs are finished. The ship has set sail once more. The somewhat arcane engines helping to propel when the wind is not enough to sustain them on this long journey, this somewhere close to 1,000-mile journey through the archipelago and the reefs of this particular region. You make your way past Ironforge, past Poundbow, a couple of the other nations or city-states that make up the archipelago, on your way into more open waters. And this is where Captain Badger is a little bit more of the opinion that the trip should be quick. Because open water is where monsters, much like the one that butted against the ship to grab the reef shark that river had reeled in, more monsters like that might arise. So, as you all are participants in aiding the ship in one fashion or another, I would like just a straight D20 from everyone. And anyone who has sailing proficiency may add it.
And I also wanted to say, over the course of the days, every night, I'd like to practice.
Of course. And each and every time, it gets a little easier to stay in those forms.
Yeah, I am doing one or two in particular, but I'll message you those.
Okay, sounds good.
Roll it if we have what proficiency?
You may roll a d20, but if you have sailing proficiency, you can add your proficiency bonus.
17.
A 2.
2.
3.
This last leg of the trip, goodness, it feels like it's going on forever. And some of you might have started getting a little bored with your duties. Some of you might have even started slacking off on some of the things that you've been requested to do, but
Rune got distracted, okay?
Rune got very distracted.
He was very interested in the weather patterns, you see.
Yes.
Anya is just trying to keep Zephyr from going stir crazy at this point.
Yes, because there is no land out in the middle of the ocean where you are now.
Yeah, wouldn't it have been nice to stretch our legs?
Wouldn't it have been?
Shay's just incompetent.
Somebody call high or low.
Low.
Oh.
High.
It needs to be unanimous. Or just someone specific.
Low clan low, because anytime I choose high with Coffee's dice, they always mess with me.
Just rolling a d20.
Well, that's 3 against 1, so...
Low it is. The waters are calm. The sound of the waves kind of crashing up against the ship a little bit started to maybe become something of a comfort to more of you just as time goes on. The last leg of the journey is There's no storms. None that can't just be a little bit of rain, but otherwise uneventful. No lightning, no thunder. Just a gentle rain one day. The rest, the sea is calm. The wind is warming up a little bit. It feels nice as you start on a heading going a little bit more north now, that the warmth of nearby land, or that the oncoming summer is starting to influence the weather patterns here. And you make it into port at Red Hawk Keep without any other events that transpired. Captain Badger seems pretty relieved to be closer to coastal waters now again. As you make it into port.
Are we allowed to go above deck now?
As soon as we had got back, yeah, you would have been free to come back and forth from the bunks to the upper decks for the last bit of the journey after we left that island.
When they say that it's called Red Hawk Keep, it is a city that upon approaching it from the sea, you see that there are very large walls that jut up from the beach and seem to push the city itself up against a mountain range. River, you've been here before. You've been through here, you've lived here. The underground Coliseum is here. This place it seems to be bustling with lively people. The whole city seems to be surrounded and protected by large stone walls, and the buildings inside seem to almost creep up even taller. And as you get closer to the mountain, you see the castle of the king, sitting at the top of it, at the very highest point in the city. It's almost as if the city itself is built out of and into the mountain.
I think it's best that we go through this town as quickly as possible.
We can head south and go through Kinos Hills.
Big question. Did Captain Badger ever mention why the island and the city itself was spooky or dangerous?
She didn't exactly give much information as to why she was headed this way, just that she was delivering cargo to the city. So she's kind of moved the ship into a port where there are plenty of wenches and other such machinery to be able to pull cargo from pallets that, you know, are set up on top of the deck, and the crates from below the deck are brought up onto these pallets to be hoisted across and into the port. And
gotcha.
And one of which is, in fact, the one that she was going to look after, particularly Lagon.
Mm-hmm. I assume Lagan is with Clip and Clop as when they boarded, trying to keep them calm so they don't dance about as they're being hoisted off the ship.
Yes, the little iron bar cage that they've been kind of locked up in, more or less, for this whole trip, is opened. You're given their leads, and you're given their pack saddles back, so that you can load them back up should you desire to.
Right. After we get them off, Lagan will do what he can to soothe the animals and reload the pack saddles on each of the animals.
Yeah, Shay assists. Happy to get off the boat.
And as you're getting off the boat and you all are heading into town,
Before we head into town, though, River is going to take the red cape from his gladiator costume, put it over his head like a hood, and kind of just clasp it in front.
Good to know.
River, you had mentioned going through this town as quickly as possible. Is there something about it that we should be aware of?
It's not safe.
In what way? Like, lose your things not safe? Get murdered in an alley not safe? All of the above not safe?
All of the above.
Oh, fantastic. Good to know. Thank you. They will put her hood up, too.
And as you're continuing on, the cargo that was brought aboard with the Anne Bonny is separated out as it should be in the port, and Captain Badger stays with a particular crate, but the rest of you are free to go off and do as you so please. But as you start leaving the port area, you kind of look around and you see that there are some clergymen kind of walking down the streets in kind of solemn garb. Their hoods are pulled over their heads, and their heads are hung low. That they don't make eye contact with anyone on the road, and you see that people have started to make way down this main thoroughfare for a procession, it looks like.
Is any of their religious iconography visible?
Yes. Yes, okay. And the iconography that you would see... Make me a religion check.
Okay.
Can I help?
You can. Grant advantage if you have proficiency.
What? Oh, that's a good question. I don't think Rune does have proficiency. I was just hoping he was smart. Religion, nope.
Well, that's a 14.
From the looks of it, it looks like a funeral procession.
Okay.
A rather ornate one, actually, as you start to see other members of the procession start to pass you. You see that there is carried on in a sort of very ornate wagon that's got symbology that Kinwin and River you would know to be of the king's lineage. you would see crest of the crest of the king, that you would see guards are keeping people at bay as the wagon starts to pass. You see that the clergymen seem to be wearing icons that are associated with death. And you kind of watch for a moment, kind of in a bit of quiet, as a group of musicians are following this wagon with a kind of solemn funeral dirge following this wagon, played on violin and on other kind of flutes and lutes and even some guitars that's just kind of brings a kind of solemnness to the air and to the people on the road. And there's quite a number of people on the road that are watching as this goes by.
As we're moving down the streets and the like, I'd like to keep an eye out for any signs like thieves can't duff that that my instructor would have warned me about. Basically the places, don't go here, or things of that nature, or anything specific that seems to have a thievery tie.
Things like underground or nefarious in nature. You're looking for those. Okay, to be able to steer clear. Okay, then make me an intelligence check with your proficiency for Thieves' Cant. I ask for strange rolls, I know.
14.
There's some things that you see that are obvious, that are very obviously steer clear of this place. This is our turf. Kind of iconography that you see kind of scrawled in some of the walls or in some of the posts or in various different things that you would see, because this is a very big city. But a lot of what you see is very much based in a different language than you're used to, but you can definitely tell by the gestures that are made in the scrawlings and in the chiselings and things like that you've been looking for, that it's meant as a stop, as a way to inform others who might be of a similar persuasion not to trespass.
Basically,
even if there's a language barrier, just don't go there.
Yeah, it's like, so this alley is this gang, that alley is that gang.
Right.
No trespassing. No solicitors.
Right, exactly. You see icons that would be kind of indicating of a particular sect or a particular guild or anything like that you might think would come up, but it's not overt enough that anyone who isn't familiar with looking at these things would be able to determine. Because you know what you're looking for, you could see them. Most people will just ignore it and consider it just a blight on the exterior of a building.
Check. Cool. Thank you.
But it's your intention to kind of keep your party away from these kinds of
Yeah, if we start like drifting towards a thing, I'll just be like, "Oh, look over here. This looks way like this is an interesting collection of shirts," and she'll just go that way.
Senorita, you really shouldn't wander around.
I see a little bit more than I think. Like, and she'll point out whichever the last one they passed, and she'll just say, like, that spot. I don't know who owns it, but someone does, and like, no trespassing allowed. I would suggest.
That's fine. Just stay with the group.
You hear some people muttering about what is El Rey, especially in some of the river. You would probably understand this a little bit better than some of your other compatriots, but they're speaking in a common very similar to your own, in that they're curious what's going to happen now that the only child of King Rojas has died.
The prince that could have been murdered, right?
You would suspect that this is a funeral procession for the prince, yes.
Heard rumors about that before I left.
Did I ever get which religion was being represented?
Just that it was associated with death. What was your role again?
14.
It isn't one of the destroyer gods, but you're not super familiar with the iconography here.
Okay.
So are we going to do we want to find an inn or river? Can we get through this town in a day where we're going, and we want to just camp outside? Or
I think camping would be safer.
Lagan would ask Kinwin, how much farther is our travels to, what did you call this place? Fall? Fire? What?
Surefall Glades.
Surefall.
Yep.
Surefall Glades.
We just need to travel through Kinos Hills past Ponte Macera. Would I know how long in a distance that would be?
You would know that's about 150 miles. That the road more or less goes through the Kinos Hills and into Surefall Glades. Now, finding the druid kind of encampment, as they kind of tend to move around a little bit, finding them after that in the forest of the Twilight Grove is a little trickier. But you know, the library itself is at Surefall.
I know my way through Kinos Hills good enough. I've hunted there for 5 years.
Okay, so is that a week, 2 weeks?
You would know that's let's see. So that's probably 8 to 10 miles in a day. That's probably, well, probably more. Since you have the donkeys, you're probably looking at a week and a half.
Okay. Before we leave the town, Lagan is going to buy another gold worth of rations for the mules.
Now there is a slight language barrier, because the common spoken here is a little harder to understand where it starts kind of you've heard River use a couple of words that are from this region that you really haven't had the chance to pick up on as of yet. So there might be a need for a translator.
Lagan will get River or Kenwin to buy the necessary rations for the mules. Then,
How much
if
you
I,
need?
there's a gold worth. We need at least that much in order to make sure Clip and Clock can make the journey.
Hand over a gold piece.
Easily enough done.
Yeah.
And so, unless there's anything else that you want to do in the city,
I would prefer to not be here much longer.
It is not safe.
you can hear as the funeral procession has long since passed. As you get closer to the outskirts of the city, there's barkers for, the different pieces of entertainment. That there's markets that are open, there's shops that have their proprietors standing outside waiting for somebody to come in and buy something. Start walking your way through the market district out towards the exit.
Quietly asking River and Kenwin, how not safe is this area?
Extremely.
You failed to explain what part of it is unsafe. Or more specifically, what the unsafe part is. Is it bandits?
It's not really my place.
River just kind of motions for everyone to gather near a little corner so that outsiders aren't involved, and he just moves his cape and shows everyone. This is how dangerous.
That happened here?
Yes. I would really not like to be here much longer.
Are you wanted here, River?
He covers his cape again. I was taken from my home, and I don't want that to happen to anyone else. So we should go.
Just as you're saying that, a barker kind of comes up to the group, having left his little bit of an act that's kind of going on in the marketplace. He has an instrument in one hand, and he's kind of waving towards you to come closer as a group, and starts playing a very jaunty kind of tune, to kind of dancing around like a clown in a way. He's just trying to get your attention to play some kind of music in front of you, perform a little bit.
Don't make eye contact.
Lagan hears this and will begin to move off, continuing to leave the town.
You hear somebody say, "No, wait, please, listen." And someone else kind of goes up to Vanya and says, Come listen."
Rune steps between them. My apologies. but we are on our way.
She's going to peer out. Sir, if I wanted music, all I'd have to do is play it myself. Then she just goes right back behind Rune.
Rune, are you intending to intimidate this person to get them to step back?
Well, let me look at my intimidation to determine that. Not a very intimidating guy, but yeah, sure, we'll go with it.
Okay, roll me intimidation.
Oh god. What, 13?
They kind of throw their hands up, kind of looking at you and your big armored self, and they're like, okay. Don't mean anything. Just music. They start to step back a little bit.
Once Rune sees that he's a decent couple of steps away, he looks to Vanya and the rest of the group and just begins marching. Checks in with River. What is the quickest way out of the city?
It would be that way, and he'll point. He'll point out a way that he knows.
Kind of a safe street. And the streets in this city are kind of windy in that they don't follow any kind of uniform pattern. There's angles that don't make any sense. It's a little bit of a maze going through this particular portion of the city. But you do know River how to navigate out through the city, especially with Shay's help, saying that she's definitely aware of some of the more possibly nefarious indications that are on the city walls, and so you're able to easily go to the main gate on the southern side, and go out onto the main road out of the city.
As they pass the gates, you just hear the biggest sigh of relief you've ever heard come out of this cat boy. And he loosens up just a little bit, but he keeps moving. Let's see if we can get a few miles out before we camp.
Then it is under agreement that we camp outside the city, then.
Yes.
So, I want to clarify, when River was talking about what happened to them and that this was done here, did Lagan take this to mean that River had been kidnapped and used in a gladiatorial arena?
All that River said was he had been taken from his home.
Okay.
And the injuries to his arms happened here.
Okay. I think that he did tell Lagan privately that he had escaped from an arena a few episodes back.
Yeah. If he told that to Lagan specifically in private, then yes. But what he said on the street just now was that he had been taken from his home and that his injuries happened here.
Right. I was putting that with what had been said previously.
Yeah, that's easily to put together since that's been shared with you.
Oh, God. Okay.
But you're able to get a couple of miles outside of town as you've come into town kind of in the midday, and being a couple miles outside of town and really wanting to take a good rest, you set up camp outside of the city just before the dusk hits, and you can see out from the road to, and it's mostly clear as far as the landscape, and you can see that the beach is a you know 10 miles away possibly. You can see that the sun's starting to come down on the horizon, that that it's relatively clear view of the sunset right now. And that is where I believe we're going to pick up next time. So you'll be able to get a long rest, finish any little bits of this or that you would like to do in the Maytime. But you're going to set up here for a long rest, and we'll continue afterwards next time.
Oi.
Untap the night and then get a short rest.
What's that?
Untap the night and then get a short rest.
You have plenty of time to do some hunting. Go ahead and roll me a survival check really quick.
Well, and as we are settling in for the evening, Shay will approach River and just say, I don't know if Phoenix Wonder Prizes has any influence here in Red Keep. But if there's ever anything you feel like you need to do to feel truly safe or comfortable, I can certainly see if the La Vista name can potentially help. I can't say for sure, but I'd be happy to lend it should you need it.
Thank you, Senorita. Yes.
Forget to cast guidance even for my own rolls. It was a 9.
Oh no. Yeah, the best you're able to scrounge up is maybe some berries to go with some of the rations, but it's not enough to feed everyone to offset needing a ration for the day. But you can. There was plenty of time to do that and still get a long rest, because otherwise you'd get exhausted. So, but. Is there anything else? Any other quick little side steps that you want to take before going to sleep?
I believe what Lagan wants to do will wait until we're well out of Red Hawk Keep and well away from it.
Alright.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
River's going to look at Shay for a moment. Hey, I know I bought these tents for you, but would you mind if I stayed in it tonight?
Not at all. Not at all.
We're this close to the city.
Nope. Absolutely. Feel free.
River will give Shay his bedroll to make up for taking the tent.
Oh, you don't need to do that. You can keep it for a little added security if it helps. And I don't mind. I'll make my cocoon right at the entrance. The only thing I'd ask is you don't step on me. But at least if somebody comes, they'll step on me first, and I can bite their foot off, maybe.
Shay would again have Lagan's bedroll for her cocoon.
Thank you, Lagan.
Always.
And Rune was gonna say something too?
Yes. Rune enters Sentry's Rest for the 6 hours that he does, but I want to say he also begins constructing plans in his mind.
Okay. And if you are wanting to PM me some of those plans, you may.
Cool.
But
I will do that.
the night draws everyone to sleep, and we will pick up where you all wake up in the morning. So thank you all for being my cast members.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
You guys are pretty great. I enjoy this game very much.
Yeah.
So yeah, how y'all liking it so far?
I am enjoying
I love it.
this.
Having fun.
Yes.
Eee.
I always enjoy this game, and though I entered in between episodes, I want to say that I like it enough that I still came, even though my brain was bursting.
That's okay. That's perfectly fine.
I appreciate everyone for being available and doing the game and being chill with me, popping in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not
you're
a problem.
great. No
Things
problem
happen.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not a
Yeah.
problem at all.
It's been
Do
very
we have
fun
any
playing
idea how we're
together.
gonna make more money?
We gotta
Really?
do work.
Yeah, we gotta do
I
quests.
mean,
You
We can
have
make money in
you
a
got an
different city.
entertainer.
you have a city behind you.
You have a city behind you, an elf that can play guitar. I mean,
Bad city though.
Hold on, is there a gladiator ring here?
Yes, that's the whole thing.
Oh, y'all. Rune would do it. Rune would do it.
River
Lagan
would do
would
it
too.
River would do it if it was a choice. It wasn't though.
Yeah.
'Cause he
Lagan
has a
would
gladiator
too.
background. He can go entertain via combat, but he doesn't want to do it in this town.
Mm-mm. Of course he doesn't.
Shay would only help unfairly to make sure y'all live.
Lagan would definitely get into the ring. He just knows he has very limited amount of coin with which to do so.
Yep, there's always
Yeah.
public rings. Yeah, there's.
I mean, there is potentially other work we can do other than
True.
fighting to the death.
of course,
True.
because there's some of you who
Oh.
have entertainment backgrounds,
Ooh.
and there's others who have
exactly.
who have clergy backgrounds. You know, there's a slew of things that you could do.
Here's a
Well, you would
question.
have
Or
no
you
problem
could
setting up
just
middle
let
of the
Shay or
street.
Darius do some Robin Hood shit.
Mm,
I mean,
That too.
I have a wild suggestion,
yes.
and this usually works for this works in the other game I'm playing in really well. But what if we had like a job board that we could work off of?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's always job boards in every town. You just haven't mentioned that you want to go find one yet.
yeah, we just skipped this one because it was dangerous.
Lagan is relying on River and Kenwin at this point, and both of them saying this is not a good place to be staying. Let's keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me.
And it seemed like there was a fair number of territorial delineations.
There's that,
well,
and then of course it's the capital city, so it's the whole place of the king and his family.
wild suggestion. So I think Rune's gonna approach Lagan the next day about checking about a job board, and I think the two team dads should team up. Wild idea.
I mean, you could always check the next village or town that you come across.
This is true.
Yes.
The next.
Hunted by Fear is
I'm
on the
kinda-
way.
I'm kind of curious about the prince's death. I'm not wondering if like this place is so bad. Maybe Mr. Prince was a reformist and got himself assassinated. But this just on, I'm just curious.
That's something you'll have to explore if you'd like to.
Yeah, I think we'll
We
check the
didn't keep
job
up with
board.
the politics much in Sharefall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
next-
think we'll check the job boards in the next town.
Yeah, the
Okay.
next town that you come across is going to be Ponte Maedra, which is a hillside kind of mountain city. Not really city; it's more of a town, but
Okay.
it's kind of on the smaller side. So
All right, yeah. Let's just resolve for a job board.
Yep.
All right, we'll keep that in mind. I'll definitely keep that in mind for next time. So, with everybody who came, we can do experience now.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yay! Everybody gets their consolation prize of the 5 experience for showing up.
Even me?
Even you. You came.
Oh. I
no,
love
you get 2 for half.
No, you don't get it.
I'm not that mean. You show up for half the game, you get the full consolation prize. There you go.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of traveling for this episode, I think I'm gonna say that it's gonna be a 1 experience day for your objectives, since it was mostly a travel day.
Yeah.
Now we get to decide who had pushed our plots, if anybody did, who had the best scene and who had the best line. So, who pushed any plots? Personal, main plot, side plot, otherwise?
I'd say Lagan for, trying to keep us all corralled underneath the deck.
I was about to say. I was about to say Lagan as well, just by basis of I feel like we're kind of following his Team Dad consensus.
Okay.
Any other takers?
I'm good with Lagan. I agree.
All right.
I won't turn it down.
Lagan it is. Who had our best scene?
I'm going to throw Vanya in there for trying to keep Shay out of trouble.
Ain't that the truth?
I'm kind of torn between Vanya and Shay for that.
I don't know what happened, so I'm gonna go with the majority vote.
Like, if I would throw my hat into anywhere, I would throw it into quote for blaming Lagan for the donkey's plight.
That was,
but that
funny.
still ties into that. So I can give that to Vanya, trying to keep Shay out of trouble.
Yeah.
I would say Hawkeye, Vanya.
Mm-hmm.
That nickname's gonna stick, isn't it?
You know it. I've got the audience poll started for who has the best, for who is going to win the audience vote. So exclamation point vote and the name of the character as you see it on the screen, so that you can pick your favorite. So if we're going Vanya for the best scene, who are we going with for best line?
I'm gonna throw my hat in for Rivers. I was taken from my home.
Very poignant.
It was emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw Vanya in there
poignant.
for just that, good sir, if I wanted music, I'd play it myself. Kind of snark.
Very snarky. Definitely a good contender.
I'm leaning towards Shay and Shay talking to the donkeys and blaming Lagan.
He's not wrong.
Shay too.
Okay, so that's 2 votes for Shay. And I guess that's the majority. 2 votes for Shay. Shay gets it. All right. So that does it for experience. And nobody's spent their inspiration as of yet, so nobody can gain any either. So
In fairness, I keep freaking forgetting about it. Like a girl,
I've only made like 2 rolls today.
Yeah, a girl rolls 2 natural ones and forgets about inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't forgotten
What does it
about
do?
I haven't forgotten about it. I just haven't felt there was anything that absolutely
Warranted
needed
it.
to succeed
Same
yet.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
It gives you advantage, I think, right, Coffee?
Yeah, you declare that you want to use your inspiration on the roll that either I call for, because I'm the DM. I call for rolls. When I call for a roll, you can declare that you want to use your inspiration. That grants you advantage on your next roll. The nice thing about the audience is that they could also buy inspiration with channel points for each of you, so that they can have a fickle god's favor into your plights. So they can grant any character, including the DM, a point of inspiration to grant them advantage on a roll. So that inspiration slot, once you empty it, the audience has the opportunity to buy one back for you, or to give me one.
Right.
So that's how that's going to work. And that's 25,000 channel points, which is kind of a hefty price, but I figure, instead of asking for tips for that, I think significant amount of channel points is actually a pretty big deal, because that can sway an entire scene. That could change anything. So
Fickle God's favor.
Fickle God's favors. How's that? That's
I
how
see.
You can do. That's what we can do. So, that or I pick favorites, but since none of you have spent your inspiration, I can't grant you another one. So, but yeah, that's all the experience. Except for the poll. The poll, has it concluded? Yes, it has.
Yes, it has.
Yes, it has. Rune got our lovely audience favorite tonight.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's appreciated.
100% of the vote.
Yeah. Only had one
Hey.
vote.
That's 100%.
Yep, it's
Right.
true.
We have to get 30 for level 3, right?
That's correct.
I'm
Is
at
it-
29.
Oh my goodness,
What
you're
a way.
almost
I'm at
there.
26.
Missing last week. I'm 5 behind that.
I did with tonight. I did get 30.
Ooh, so your long rest, you get level 3.
Mm.
It is subclass decision time.
Yep, subclass decision.
Ooh.
So, what is your big decision, my friend?
I'm
You
leaning
wanna learn
towards
some magic?
No, I think it's gonna be mastermind. So like when we're in a city like this one, I can pay attention to people for like a minute and pick up on their dialect and act I am one of them.
Ooh,
Oh.
kind of a blend
Making-
into the crowd, kind of a rogue.
Yeah.
Making
No,
use of that.
mastermind is kind of fun. It's definitely more of a talker than a fighter or a thing. Also, I can help now from 30 feet away, I think, at level 3. Might be a later level, but I think it's at level 3.
Imagining Shay yelling across the field like, "Hey, do better!"
Or being a distraction, because she's very
Yep.
pretty.
Get good, son.
Also,
know,
I don't know about pretty per se, as apparently I'm very annoying, so
Oh.
distraction indeed.
Oh.
Lagan does not consider Shay to be annoying.
And it is Vanya. She'll tease her about it, but she doesn't actually think it.
Shay is actually very adorable. I love her.
Yes. Yes, she is.
But yeah, that's our first level 3 so far. Hell yeah.
What's the next one for 4? Just because I do a
40.
X out of X.
Yep. So if you hit 30, then you would start back at 0 and then go 0 to 40. That's how experience works in my games, because experience is arbitrary.
And then you said any that you have left over after reading 30 rolls over.
Does roll over, yes.
So it goes back to 0, but then it rolls
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So once you ding 30, that's where the level happens, and then any additional you have after that you still keep.
1 out of 40.
Ooh. Hell yeah. That's exciting.
Right.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. Anybody got anything fun coming up on their channels in the near future? Like Dark Wolf?
I'm just gaming tomorrow.
I'm still playing through Omori.
Mm.
I think I'm getting close to the end though.
Ooh, fun.
And then after that, I'm still trying to learn how to play Magic
Ooh.
with Magic the Gathering Arena.
Fun.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What about you, Raven? You got anything fun coming up on your channel?
I'm probably just going to continuously give myself a heart attack in Dead by Daylight again.
Yeah, that's pretty
Because
much
that's
your
always
shtick.
fun. Yeah. I haven't been able to go out and get anything shot. I might go out and do that tonight because there's a meteor shower peaking within this weekend. So.
I'm excited.
Question: how tall is Shay?
I'm
Somewhere close to 5
currently in
feet.
the Mancer. I think I'm like 5'1" or 2.
Okay.
She's small. She's pretty small. She's small and lanky.
Very small compared to my dog.
Lanky is the key term. Strength 5.
I need just to know for height comparison because River is 6'4". He tall.
You tall boy.
I'm drawing this picture. And
Tall
I'm like,
boy.
Wait, he's looking down pretty far.
Yeah, that means
taller
Vanya
than him.
is too. Vanya's like 6 foot even.
Vanya's pretty tall.
Yeah.
Why do you think I have Lagan keep kneeling to be on a similar level to
To Shay.
Shay?
She's
telling
not.
me-
She's not halfling small, but she's pretty small.
No, that would be a thing, wouldn't it? With all the tall people and a 2-foot character.
Your captain's a halfling.
Yeah, and in order for Lagan to get on her level, he has to crawl around on all fours, and he still has to crouch down.
Yep, because
Oh my god.
because Captain Badger's only barely peeking over 3 foot.
Dude, River and Rune are the same height.
Fantastic. What about you,
The
Pale?
difference is that Rune is bulky.
Yeah, Rune's probably got a good 200 pounds over River.
River is thin.
Mm,
He's a Dexy boy.
Dexy boy.
Yeah.
Pale, you got
Lagan
anything
is
fun
8 feet
coming up
tall.
on your channel?
Who?
Oh, Pale.
Oh yeah, I have the D&D 5e game that I run on Mondays, the Dark Skies of Valorix. They are dealing with giants right now that are about to attack a town, and then my friend is running a game on my channel on Thursdays now, which just started last week with Contemptus.
Yep, you should give all of these people a follow because they're great. Woden, I don't think you do any streaming because this is really the only game you have on the internet.
That's right.
And then, Spectre, are you doing anything fun on your channel at some point?
Nothing specifically on my channel. However, I am taking commissions again. For
Yes.
inquiries on space in my roster, just send me a DM here on Discord. You can find me under Spectre Deflector
Yes.
with an ER at the end.
Yes, and I have a Discord, and we have a YouTube channel, so that you can, if you've missed anything, you can check out the VODs for free, not have to worry about, anything like that on Twitch or anything like that, because some people put things behind the subscriber walls, and I think that's bullshit. But yeah, you can check out the YouTube. We're very close to hitting 100 subscribers, so we can get that custom URL in order to, because I have all of my Vampire the Masquerade games, and I have this game, Rebirth, posted as VODs on there, so definitely give those a check out. I've had a couple of people from the community say that they've absolutely loved the VODs, so if they loved them, you should all you should all give that a follow. So, but that really does it here for us here in D&D lands. So, with that being said, oh, thank you so much for smirking all day for the follow. Yeah, one last minute follow as we get ready to sign out. But definitely check out the VODs on YouTube.
Coffee, one quick thing.
Sure.
The Abyss in the chat had a question.
The Abyss.
Regarding emotes.
I also... Let's see.
Are we getting React emotes of the characters as well?
React emotes. What is... More channel emotes are on the way. The only problem with that being is that I have limited space on BTTV and I have limited space on channel subscriber emotes. So if you want to see more emotes, then the best way that you can do that is by supporting the channel. The best way to support the channel for free is to follow and share with your friends. So that's the best thing that you can do, because I have very limited time. So if I can make up the time somehow, then I really appreciate that, because I really do want to do more emotes for the channel. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it. So, but every little bit of support helps, and what things I do find myself doing as far as emotes, that'll come all down the pipeline. You can always follow all of that on Discord, because I usually post those as updates too, that when a new emote goes up, that will all be announced and everything. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And no problem, Abyss. And yeah, I think that's about it. So say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Oh, yeah.
Good night.